person. And that's the biggest value that I've had in my career, is that I've continuously invested in my network and continue to reach out to those people to build a relationship. You need to be really clear what's unique about you. And that's one of the hardest things to achieve. And I raised $1.4 million to start my first venture. We launched in August 2010, and within 2 years we were doing $33 million in revenue. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me lift Pakistan. It's great to be here, and today I'm going to tell you a bit about a story about me being an entrepreneur, and hopefully I'll share some tips on how to actually exit your company. So my name is Paul Kenny. I'm an Irish entrepreneur. I've been living in the Middle East for now 11 years, and I originally was brought up in Ireland. So my family had a business in Ireland that was actually a bookshop and an art gallery that was open since 1940. Now, it was a great education for me to be actually brought up in Ireland and surrounded by lots of other entrepreneurs, but I had a passion, and that passion was actually to get out of Ireland and actually build my own company. So in 2004, my parents brought me on holiday to Dubai. And when I got to Dubai, the first thing I actually did was I searched on the internet to see if there was any other internet companies available online there at the time. And there was nothing. There was no bookshops, nothing online, no CDs, no DVDs. You couldn't buy anything on the internet. So I knew I had to come back. So in 2007, I landed in Dubai, and I actually arrived in Dubai, and the only person I knew was actually the person who recruited me. So that was quite a daunting time for my career. And I joined a company called Jumpstart Group. I quickly moved on to another company called AME Info, and I started to learn a lot about online marketing. And I was quite fortunate that I was in an industry where the online industry was just beginning to take off. By 2009, I was working for a company called Emirates. And Emirates was a phenomenal company. I was doing their online marketing, and we were growing this globally. But the challenge I had was that I was still an employee, and I couldn't handle having a boss. So I decided when I was 25 to actually start my own company. And in August 2010, I raised $1.4 million to start my first venture, which was called Kobone.com. It was a daily deal company, and it was originated in Dubai, and it was a copy of a company called Groupon. We launched the company by actually selling pizzas. So our first deal was actually we started selling thousands and thousands of pizzas online, and very quickly we launched across 6 countries in the Middle East. We lived through some incredibly tough times, and I resonate with actually what's going on in the Middle East. We actually had offices in Egypt at one point, and we lived through the Arab Spring. So I remember watching on TV as our employees were actually struggling with what was happening in Egypt. We built one of the biggest e-commerce companies actually in the Middle East. So to give you perspective, we launched in August 2010, and within 2 years we were doing $33 million in revenue. So by 2012, we were actually the biggest e-commerce company in the region. Thank you. What was actually very difficult was I thought I was building an e-commerce company, but I wasn't. So the premise of the business is you actually order online and you get a coupon delivered to your email. And I thought customers were actually going to pay with their credit card. Nobody wanted to pay with their credit card. Everybody wanted to pay in cash. So we used to print out these coupons, put them on motorbikes, and get them delivered to people's houses throughout the Middle East. This is across 6 countries. We were doing 20,000 deliveries of pieces of paper every month. We were moving millions and millions of dollars through couriers in 6 countries, and that's how we built the business. So at the time when we were growing really quickly, we were growing 100% every year, we were getting contacted by investors, VCs, institutions, and they were interested in buying us. And what was really interesting in 2012, it started to be posted in the media that Amazon were about to buy us. Now, I'm being totally honest, we actually never even spoke to Amazon, but it started getting pushed in the media that Amazon were talking to us. And in 2013, we sold the company for $40 million, which was the biggest exit of an internet company in the Middle East at the time. So, what are we doing today? Today I'm a managing director at AIM Commerce, and AIM Commerce is powering the technology of companies around the world. We currently have operations across 18 countries, and we have offices across many more. We have almost 400 employees, and we're also running the biggest online supermarket in the Middle East. I'm really fortunate to actually be here with a number of my partners, Majid and Suki, in the photo, and just really fortunate to be surrounded by great people. So today we have a huge operation in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has an incredibly evolving economy, similar in a way to Pakistan. There's 30 million people in that country, and they're beginning to evolve online heavily. And we've partnered with one of the largest supermarket chains, the Bindal Group, to build the biggest online grocery in the Middle East. And it's really exciting for us because we're totally evolving shopping behavior where customers used to go to the physical store. Now they're buying from us directly online. And we're super excited that we're actually even expanding in Pakistan. So we've partnered with a company that's actually here called CC, and we're putting, hopefully, over the next few years, a couple of hundred staff based in Karachi. So it's a really exciting time for us to continue to invest in Pakistan. And we're hoping that AIM Commerce actually invests more here in the coming years. So I'm going to share some tips about preparing for exit. So earlier on, there was all these companies who are pitching for investment. And it's really interesting that the ones that stood out versus the other ones had some key differences, and I'm going to talk about them now. The first one is actually, you have to build your network. And people think that, oh, I can just go up and ask someone for their business card and then I know that person. That's a complete wrong way to approach networking. You have to build a relationship with that person. And that's the biggest value that I've had in my career, is that I've continuously invested in my network and continue to reach out to those people to build a relationship. The other thing is communicating regularly. So one key learning that we do in AIM, what I did in my previous company, Cabone, is no matter if a person is a friend, a stakeholder in the company, an investor, or somebody who I've met, I would send quite regular communication to that person. So I would be talking to them once a month, once a quarter, with actually tips on what's happening within my industry or within my company. The other key thing is you have to know your competition. Huge mistake startups make is they actually just look down at their own company and don't even look outside and figure out what's going on in the industry. You need to take your head out of the sand and be aware of what's happening in the market. Fourth, you have to be ready for an exit. One key challenge every startup faces is having the right legal structure in place, the right set of accounts, the right board of directors, even down to basic things, having employment contracts. When a company is going to come and look at investing into you or exiting you, you need to have all these in place. And finally, you need to be really clear what's unique about you. And that's one of the hardest things to achieve. So what makes you different versus your competition or other players in the market? So thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate being here. I hope AIM has a bigger representation in Pakistan in the future. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I would request to Paul, can you please stay on the stage to receive the token of appreciation, and I would like to call Mr. Amjad Parvez.
People from across the globe to Pakistan and network and ensure that the ecosystem of enterprises affects the individuals to give them the economic independence that we want. It does not necessarily mean that we only have to deal with overseas Pakistanis like me who have a Pakistani origin. Pakistan must become a nation amongst the family of global nations. And this young man has done us the honor for coming to Pakistan and saying what he has. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much.
I've just got a shield for you. I don't know where it is, but
I got it yesterday.
No, you get another one.
I get another one.
You get another one. You
Brilliant.
get a double gong.
Of applause for our guest, Paul Canny, for making us learning the new topic.
And next time, this gentleman has a challenge to bring 10 other non-Pakistani overseas over here. Thank you very much.
That's easy.
Okay, man.
Thank you. Thank you.